Hey everybody, it's Katie from Bobby Hair Studio. Today we're going to be learning how to do curtain bangs. This is just one of the ways you can cut them. There's so many ways to cut them, but let's get started. I start by sectioning out a triangle portion from the front of my client's hair, starting from where they part their hair. And I try to make sure that it's as even as possible on either side. I also like to pin back everything else so it's not in my way. Then I just confirm with my client how long we want the bangs to be and visualize them with kind of where my thumbs are right there, just to double check that that's the length that we're going to. Then I section away the top 2/3 of the triangle. I pull them away because I'm going to be using them later. They're more so the bulk of the curtain bangs, and underneath I'm using a thin section that goes along the front of the face to do any of my measuring and set a guide for how I'm going to do each side of my curtain bangs. Then I like to pull away the piece from the furthest outside of each side of the bangs, and I bring it down to where I want to see the longest piece of the curtain bangs to go, and I just trim it to make sure that that's my guide for the longest place of my bangs. And then I like to bring it forward to the center, get the other side, and bring them together and just trim exactly where that piece was from one side to the other. They're exactly the same length now, and they should go down to the same height on the face. Now that I have the longest length set that just goes just below the cheekbones, I like to get the center part of her hair because she does part in the center, and I like to take a very skinny slice from either side and bring it down to where we want the shortest piece of her bangs. And I cut just below that. I don't cut all the way to the shortest piece because we can always trim up, but we can't just make the hair grow longer. Then I use my comb to even out the hair, and I connect from the shortest piece to the longest piece just by chipping in little vertical chips so that we have a nice soft base. We don't want to do any straight across cutting because that's going to give us a really harsh line. I do that on both sides. And because I had two cameras set up today, you're going to be able to see this from two angles. I'm just going to repeat what we just had in the next couple seconds here, but it's going to be sped up so you can see from another angle what this all looks like. Now that I have a guide set, I know exactly how long my bangs are going to be and the shape that I'm following. So I am going to section out the top little third of this triangle, because what that's going to be is I'm going to pull it to the side to show you where it naturally wants to fall. And this is really important, is to see where this hair wants to fall, because that's going to be the outer corners of the curtain bangs. So they're going to be the longest area, and they're going to be what either blends into the rest of your haircut or creates that separation. Both are totally legitimate looks. It just depends on what you like better. And then I'm taking this middle section and I'm bringing it down to the same elevation as I had my first guide area and just following my guide. Just chipping in, making really soft lines and following along where I am. It might look a little rough when you first do this, but this is just to set the lengths and make sure that both sides are even, because that's what matters the most. That's what's the most important. And then after that, you can always texturize and put a little bit of shape into the ends, which is what I'm actually doing right here. Unfortunately, my arm is blocking it, but I am pulling up the hair, and you can see a little bit right there. I'm just chipping into the ends and softening up how these ends like to sit so that she has more fullness up top and a little bit easier to style ends. And here is when I grab the last third. I'm going to let it sit naturally where it wants to be, and that just shows me where I'm going to follow this guideline down. Now this ends up being the more heavy corners of the hair, so I'm just going to follow it. You can either slide cut or chip in. Today I chose to just chip in to follow the same cut as I have everywhere else on my client's hair. Some clients have more slide cutting, some have more chipping in. This is just what I chose to do. After you decide on your lengths, you're just going to measure again and then keep softening up each side as you wish. If you want them to be a little heavy and a little more blunt, you don't have to chip into the ends. I like to do it so that they're easy to style and that they have some natural softness to them. So like what I did before with my guide setting areas, I cut one side how I like it and then brought it to the middle and brought the other side to match it. And now I am just making sure they are the same length and that they're gonna sit to the same height on the face on either side of the hair. And I'm also, I know my hand is out of the frame here, but again, just fanning out the ends and chipping into them deeply so we get some softness. Here it is from that second angle for you guys, so you can just get a little bit of a better look at what I was doing up there. And here I'm just detailing, making sure no little individual hairs are sticking out and there's no corners or random straight lines in any of these pieces. But this is my favorite way of doing any type of bangs. You can use this method to make sure that everything is all balanced out and even on either side. You have a very clear guideline that you've made for yourself and you can just follow it and detail the hair. And this is when you just customize it to how your client wants. Then I always spray the bangs down and use a big round brush and a blow dryer to blow dry them up and then back down and around, and that gives them their really soft curtain bangs kind of flow over the hair. As you can see, I went up and then back down, and now I'm splitting my client's hair according to her part, and here she is fully styled, looking gorgeous. These are really, really easy bangs to do, and it's a really easy way to style them too. I hope you guys get a chance to try this method out, and please make sure to tag me on social media if you do. I'd love to see your results, and let me know if you learned anything. This is also how her hair looks if she were to pull it up and away. This is such a cute length on her. It looks amazing with her cheekbones and her eyes. And I really appreciate you guys coming to watch this video if you got this far. Remember to like and subscribe. Thanks so much, guys.